Hey guys, this is Coffee Chug and I'm here today to talk a little bit about a robot kit that comes either all-in-one or you can sign up for Dexter Industries GoBox subscription service. Either way, we have this for our school and classroom, and the reason being, in our makerspace we're looking for ways. We've kind of got two levels of kids: the beginners that really have not any sort of background or sense of coding, programming, soldering, that sort of thing, to the other extreme. We have some very advanced students. And so we're sampling this kit. We had some grant money. We were able to purchase this kit and the missions that come with it for a year. And in the very first mission, or the very first container that you get, is in the Dexter Industries, this GoBox Garage. And in there comes a GoPiGo base kit to build the car, which we've already assembled here, and I'm not going to assemble the whole thing in front of you, but we'll talk about it here in just a little bit. You'll get that kit, which you see right here, and we'll open this up here in just a little bit. You obviously get this box that I've already kind of pulled apart because we're going to turn it into a garage, and it also comes with the Mission 1 Build, Connect, and Test with this kit, and it's an awesome manual. This is the lab book, so to speak, the notebook. And in the beginning, what I like about this as a teacher, if I'm looking at how to create my own projects and lessons, whether I use this or another, it basically tells you what the students are going to be able to do, where to go for questions, other resources, what you're all getting right here. So the base kit, the Raspberry Pi, the adapter, the SD card, Ethernet cable, and the Wi-Fi dongle, and then the Mission notebook, which is what this is. And in the beginning here, what we're going to be doing is, as you can go through, it's going to give you the problem. Here's the problem. This month, our job is to create and build a multi-purpose robot that's ready to take on the challenges of the next 11 months. And it goes on and gives you some basics. It then talks about the design of what it is. And then in this one, it's pretty straightforward. It actually gives you step-by-step instructions, which are pretty nicely laid out. The first instructions are to build and to convert this box into a garage, which is something I have not done yet, but I'm going to here, and I'll show you what that looks like here a little bit later on in the video. And then once you have the box built, it's then time to go ahead and build the GoPiGo robot, and it's step by step. These directions are very well laid out. I use these as well as online. Dexter has some videos, and you can go by step and follow along that way as well. So whatever it is that you enjoy or you prefer for your learning modalities. I found, me being older, I like paper copies, but I also find that my students love YouTube, and so that makes a lot of sense. And then once you get it all connected, it's then time they explain how to connect it to the Raspberry Pi and then how to get coding. And so we're going to talk a little bit about Mission 1 in just a little bit. But that's the basic overview. You get this awesome lab notebook. It comes in this box, and then you get the GoPiGo 2 base kit. So your first thing to do is to go ahead and build the garage, which just requires some basic building instructions. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and I will then cut to the place when it's all finished. So we'll go ahead and get this created now. Alright, so you can take a look here at the instructions, and I'm not going to spend forever on this. Very straightforward. It requires you to cut off one flap of the box. You add some Velcro, do a couple of folds, and you've got yourself here this beautiful little garage for your car, in which mine is already placed inside, and it can come right out. The Velcro strip, this seals the door for when you want to carry it. Now, the only glitch that I had that I noticed was on the instructions. They show everything here on the left side of the box, and all my stuff was on the right. So I just kind of had to do a role reversal of what I was looking at. So I'm glad that I looked at everything first, because I almost cut the right side, and I would have ruined the box, and that would have not been good. So there it is. There's the garage box. As we get going into the next piece here, not to ruin everything that goes in here, we have to assemble the GoPiGo. And in your base kit, you're going to get the following. So I'm going to set this camera down just so you can see what it looks like on the inside here. And like before, I'm not going to actually build everything, but you can see what comes in the kit is everything that you need to get going. The instructions, which gives you the video to get building, and then all your parts, the wheels, the battery packs, the GoPiGo itself, the acrylic case, all the nuts and bolts, and the motors. There's no soldering or anything really needed except for just to tighten the nuts and bolts. The kit itself, by kit I mean the GoPiGo base kit, does not come with the Raspberry Pi, so you need to have that with it. But if you go with the subscription, they do provide you with the Raspberry Pi, so that's something for you to figure out. And if you already have them, you can get this without and save yourself some money. But if you go back to the beginning, you can see here that it does provide you all those items. So it's just your choice. There's a lot of choice on the website. So you go ahead and just follow the instructions and get your car built, and once you have that built, then it's time to get into programming, and this is where I think the real learning occurs. There's definitely learning that happens with building this, but we are following basic instructions, and so really as long as your kids have patience and can follow step-by-step instructions, they won't have a problem. You know, if you are an intermediate or expert, you may find this relatively simple. Because like I said before, there's no soldering, any kind of extra tools you need. It's all been done for you, but it's a great base just to get the basics done. For someone like me, it was easy to assemble, but I'm really looking forward to expanding my coding skills by adding sensors and things of that nature. So here it is when it's all complete. This is the GoPiGo 2 base kit, the robot car. Kind of the side view and the bottom view here. And then your switch to turn it on is right here on the side, along with, as you can see, the Raspberry Pi on top. So there that is. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next step, which is doing something with the car. Alright, so now our next step is to get our robot car connected to the internet. So what we need to do, I already have a Raspberry Pi for some other projects I've been doing. So I'm going to swap this out, and basically what we need to do is we need to get it connected to the internet. So I'm going to just use this internet cord right here, and I'm going to go ahead and plug it in to our Raspberry Pi that sits up top of our robot car. I'm also just going to plug this in to the screen so I can see what the Raspberry Pi is showing. And what we're going to do, the other piece then, is to add the Wi-Fi dongle. So I got to go ahead and grab that real quick. And this is the Wi-Fi dongle that comes with it. You just plug this into one of your USB ports, and you just want to make sure your cable is obviously plugged into your internet. All right, so the goal here, as I mentioned before, is to get the Wi-Fi dongle connected so we can get Wi-Fi connection. When you get this powered up, we should see, oh, and we're not, because I got the power connected to my old other Raspberry Pi, so let me turn this off real quick. We should see two LED lights flashing for the internet for the Raspberry Pi. So let me go ahead and get the power converted here to the Raspberry Pi for us, and we should be in business. And we could use the battery pack, but I'm just going to save the batteries because we're going to be doing some coding here. So if we look, if we have done this correctly here, we should have some lights on the LED on the Ethernet cable port. And we should be able to rock and roll here in just a minute. So we'll go ahead and wait for that, and then we'll get on to the next step here. Alright, for this next step here with getting the GoPiGo robot car connected to the internet, I've spent an ungodly amount of hours troubleshooting both on the Mac and PC trying to get it to work. And finally I just found the simplest thing to do is just to go online, update your card to the latest version. At this time, it was June 26th for the latest edition, and it solves every problem that comes with the engineering notebook. And so the notebook, as you can see, it'll just walk you through everything. It's not hard. It's just getting the Wi-Fi connected right here on the device, so you don't always have to be plugged into the Ethernet. And actually, I need to just take this out. This is not needed anymore. So you can then control your Raspberry Pi from your computer, and this can be autonomous. It doesn't have to be wired in every time you want to code or do something, which is great. And so these steps are pretty straightforward, just going through and pinging like the Marco Polo and learning some basic code as well to get connected to the terminal. And then once you're on, it's easy peasy. But the key of what I've found is to just get it updated and save yourself the 10 hours I've just wasted. Had I just re-imaged my card, everything would have been fine. So now we can actually get into testing and see if this bad boy will actually move and do something. All right, so what you're looking at here is my screen on my Mac. This is actually the Raspberry Pi that's on the GoPiGo Go with the brick for the car. So that's how we're going to be able to control it wirelessly through the Wi-Fi. That's why it's important to have all that connected. What we're going to do is this test and troubleshoot just like the book suggests. And so what you're going to do is click this test and troubleshoot. And I'll flip over and show the video of what this will actually look like. But what we're going to have here, when we go and click this demo GoPiGo, it's going to tell you here, make sure your robot's on the floor. It's going to blink once, and it's going to go forward, and then it's going to go backwards. And so it's important that you're on the battery pack and not plugged into the wall, because obviously your wire is going to go. You go ahead and click OK, and away your robot goes. So I'm going to switch over to the other angle so you can see the robot of the demo. So here is the demo. Here we go. Running into a quadcopter. That's great. Now it should come backwards. You can see the red light. We're in good shape. We have success. All right, so real quick here. I've completed now the build, connect, and test mission 1 of the GoPiGo Raspberry car. I have it right here. I don't have the acrylic top back on. I'm going to get that back on. But my review for this first one is there's a great learning. You're following a lot of instructions, but what a perfect tool to get kids thinking about building, understanding how motors and components go. You can have a lot of conversation about the GPIO pins of the Raspberry Pi, how it connects down here to the GoPiGo, which leads to the motor control. A lot of great conversation around that. A lot of conversation about updating software and the importance of that, and troubleshooting and being keeping your perseverance and not getting frustrated if things don't work. I spent a lot of time on that, and I could see that being one downside if you're going to use this in the classroom. The other piece is just connecting to the Wi-Fi. I'm able to do this from home, but I'm not able to do it at school, so that might be something of a concern that we're going to have to work through. My next step is to take it to school and see if they'll give me a second chance at actually getting connected and using the school Wi-Fi. But the more you do that, the more space and things that you're using. So something to think about with that. But with the club or activity, it may not be a big deal if you just have a couple, but if you're thinking about classroom, that's something to definitely keep in mind. So really impressed with this. Overall, to go from start to finish, I've easily got 15 hours into it, not so much into building, but really more into troubleshooting to get it connected to the Wi-Fi. But once I got it updated, it was good to go. So there is mission 1. I'm going to play around here a little bit with some of the software, and we're going to get going into mission 2 and see how that turns out and explore a little bit more on my own.